Emotions. I want to talk about emotions, and by the beach, the sound that you're listening to is just ocean sound, and I come here for healing and just to reset my energies, really. Now, emotions are one of the things that we need to get a grip with, guys. Not many people want to deal with their emotions, and I remember back in the day, I really never wanted to deal with emotions. I always thought that if something happened to me, it was the person or somebody else's responsibility. But I've grown to understand and to learn that when an emotion comes in, it's happening in my body, and I have to learn to deal with it. And this is how I see emotions. They are an energy. And this is how I discovered it. One day I was sat there really, really sad. I didn't know what to do, and something had happened in my life that I couldn't change. But then I had this emotion that that was happening in my life. I was just so sad. I felt really down, very depressed, and I didn't know how to navigate out of the emotion. And this is what happened to me. I remember I was sat in a cafe, and I could actually see that I was sad. I could see that something was happening to me, but I could also I also understood that I did not like what was happening to me. And so I could see me, the sad person, being sad, and I could see me, the person that did not like the way I felt. And it was like there was two of us, and how come there is two of us? How come I can actually see this thing that's happening to me? And it was like the grace of God had helped me to remove me from the sadness, and sort of like elevate me to see that there was something happening in my life. And at that point, I understood that I could change, that I had the power to change the emotion. And that's where my journey into understanding emotions started. And that's the journey into me healing from all these emotions started. And this is just to briefly conclude. I mean, I cannot really exhaust how I've managed to deal with emotions, but just to conclude, or to briefly just tell you, emotions for me are just an entity. They're an energy. So it's something that comes to you when you've been triggered. So there has to be a catalyst. It could be a situation, it could be someone, it could be the weather, it could be something small that just triggers you, that reminds you of an event. And what happens is you've got these energies stored in your body that we call emotions: sadness, grief, anger, whatever it is. We've got them stored in our bodies, and once this trigger comes in, it then flares up. This emotion flares up. It sort of like lights up these energies that are stored in our body, and then these energies embody us. They sort of like come and engulf us, and then we feel all lost, and we feel like, woo, like this, like you've put a t-shirt on that's really cold, but you can't take it off. You don't know how to deal with the coldness. You don't know how to take the coldness off. And that's what emotions are. And that's what I've found out, that they're just entities that come, that are stored in our bodies, that just are flare up, and we can deal with them. The trick is not to get too involved in the emotion, and to understand that it's just an energy. Because when you understand that it's an energy, you can deal with it like you deal with energy, and that's a discussion for another time. So once you know that, okay, there's an emotion that's happening in my body right now, there's an energy that's flared up in my body. How do I deal with it? And then once you understand that it's just an energy, you can then deal with it as an energy. So how do you deal with energy? Energy is very simple to deal with. It's not complicated. The human brain complicates it because it's not part of our senses. So we can't see it. You can feel it, but you can't touch it. You can't taste it. You can hear it. So we've made it out into some really, really complex stuff. But when you get to the bottom of it, energy is just applying yourself to understanding the different dimensions in which the unseen world operates in. And it's a scary subject and topic for most people, but it really should not be scary, because we do operate in unseen realms, within unseen realms, and whether you know it or don't know it, or believe it or don't believe it, thought is unseen. When you're sleeping, for example, you go into different realms, and so it's not something that we really should be scared about. But because of religion, I understand, because of religion and indoctrination, we really are scared of this, this realm, this unseen realm. Anyway, but if you understand that the thing that's happening to you is energy, I'll give you something to think about. When you take away the word sadness, when an emotion is happening to you and you do not label it, what remains? Because sadness is a word, so what remains when you take the word sadness away? You will start having an awareness and looking at the emotion and observing it. And you will actually see that it's just an entity that has engulfed you, that you can actually deal with. It's nothing too out of your league, to deal with. I mean, yes, we need therapists. We need people who can counsel us and help us to bring us back into alignment. But there's so many emotions that you can control yourself, and where you don't need, expertise, you don't need to pay so much money. It's just having an awareness of what's actually happening in your life, and being open to understanding who you are yourself in that moment. Asking yourself the questions that you need to ask yourself. Why am I feeling like this? What am I believing to be true? What has caused me to feel like this? And there's so many things online that you can look up, that you can engage in. There's so many therapies online that can help you self-assess yourself regarding emotions. And yes, they are in the unseen realm, but we can tap into these energies and change, these energies for our good. That's what I do. I use transmutation to literally tap into any negative energy that I'm feeling, and I transmute it to whatever I want. Because when something happens to me, if I get triggered, I try as much as possible not to label what's happening to me. So I will see it as an energy, and once you see it as an energy, then you can do whatever you want with it. You can do anything because it's energy. Anyway, Thank you for being here, for listening. Please like, please subscribe, and I'll talk more into detail about emotions. If anyone wants to understand emotions, DM me, let me know. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook. Let us talk, let's have these conversations about emotions. I love you. Subscribe, and I'll see you in my Christmas video. Mwah.